They call the hills just a few miles of Da Nang's city center Marble Mountains, all 5 of them. Like some elemental boy band, they are aptly named: Earth, Fire, Metal, Wood, and Water. Only Water Mountain gets the crowds. The others are off limits, sacred, or maybe just tired of the attention. This one plays tour guide, while the others keep their secrets. Locals say it's a spiritual site. The travel blogs call it underrated. But Corey and I, we came because the mountain was there, carved out, lit up, and begging to be misunderstood. We needed a break from the booze and the beach. We were chasing something ancient, something still standing in spite of everything, something that might not give us truth, but could at least show us where it might be hiding. Whatever we were looking for, it started at the base. Ticket in hand, sun overhead, and the marble gods watching. A short staircase leads inward, tight walls, damp footing, and the slow glow of sunlight bleeding in from above. It's not long before the first real marker appears. A stone bridge crossing over a shallow pool. Below it, still water. Above it, guardian statues locked in place, weathered but alert, like they've been keeping score for centuries. We cross, careful not to slip. Arms reach out from the water. Maybe from tourists that anticipated a guardrail. There's a moment there, something about stillness before choice. After climbing the easiest stairway of the day, the path levels out into something oddly polished. Smooth tile underfoot, clearly maintained. This section feels curated, like someone's prepping it for a tour that never ends. Shrines start appearing, spaced out like checkpoints. Each one a chance to leave something behind. Incense, coins, or maybe whatever guilt you brought with you. For a moment, there's no one else around. No tour groups, no clicking cameras, just us and the quiet hum of stone and stillness. A shaft of sunlight cuts through the ceiling sharp and clean, like it was carved into the rock just for this hour. The beam lights up the chamber walls as if a slow-moving spotlight. It doesn't chase shadows away. It gives them somewhere to go. The path veers down, not marked, not advertised, but clearly worn. They call this one Fu Cave, Hell Cave, a Buddhist rendering of the afterlife, where Vietnamese cosmology carves judgment and rebirth into limestone. Darkness swallows the space quickly. No breeze, no sunlight, just the heavy press of earth and old ritual. Demons and tortured souls emerge from the walls, sculpted reminders that this place may or may not have been made for tourists. According to Buddhist belief, the soul moves through trials after death, and this cave stage is one of them. No guards, no rails, just you, myth, and whatever guilt you brought with you. You descend, you look, and somewhere along the way, you wonder what parts of your life would be judged hardest in a place like this. We clawed our way up the narrow stone artery, half cursing the incline, half praying it would end in something worth the effort. And then it cracked open. The whole of Da Nang laid out like a hallucination you didn't ask for but suddenly believe in. City, sea, sky, all humming the same silent song. Not paradise, not prophecy, just proof we made it. The elevator spits us out like factory product, pre-cooked and sweating. You expect enlightenment, but instead you get a heat wave and a laminated map that may as well be written in hieroglyphs. I've never been so spiritually disoriented this close to a snack stand. Right away, There's a welcoming committee of stone-faced statues, some with hands in prayer, others with eyes closed like they're trying to forget where they are. The map is there too, somehow both too detailed and not helpful at all. A choose-your-own mysticism brochure.
I think there might be stuff that goes through.
We wander through low shrines tucked behind vines and brickwork. Then, boom, a massive Buddha sits calmly like a boss, watching ants like us scurry around for meaning. The scale is humbling, like maybe I'm Jack, and I've climbed some type of beanstalk. Around a bend, we hit a sacred tree wrapped in dragons, carved, coiled, ready to strike. They guard nothing and everything. And for a second, you wonder if they're still listening for prayers, or just tired of all the selfies. We reach a quiet courtyard hemmed in by larger shrines, not crowded but not forgotten either. There's a stillness here, less about reverence and more about spiritual endurance. One last figure waits in the foreground, serene yet otherworldly, with arms fanned wide in poses of protection and offering. It suggests a Hindu origin at first glance, but in Vietnamese Mahayana tradition, this is likely Quan Am, the bodhisattva of compassion. The many arms aren't just for show, they're meant to carry the weight of the world's suffering. There's a kind of silence that settles in when the path stretches just long enough to let your thoughts catch up. Stone beneath your feet, jungle on either side, and just enough sunlight leaking through the canopy to remind you you're still outside. For now. The shrines behind you start to feel like memories, already softened at the edges. What's ahead is harder to pin down. We've seen quiet altars and hollowed-out chambers, stone gods and sacrifice, but this next turn feels different, more veiled, like whatever waits in the next cave hasn't quite decided if it wants to be found. A cave doesn't announce itself. It just opens up at the side of the path. Carved, worn, inevitable. Just inside, two bearded figures sit across from each other, frozen mid-game. Not kings or gods, just old men locked in thought. A shrine behind them flickers in the stillness. It feels less like a place of worship and more like a quiet warning that every step from here on out is a move, and you better be paying attention. The walls close in with moss-covered stone, slick and damp like the jungle's slow reclaim. It feels older here, less touched. Then the space opens just enough to frame a single Buddha, calm, centered, and perfectly lit from above. The statue doesn't glow, but it doesn't need to. It just waits, holding the hush of the cave like it's been doing it forever. The smoke rises first. Thin trails of incense curl around a small shrine in front of the statue, its edges glowing under soft sunlight. The air here is different, thicker, warmer, like the prayers haven't fully left. Someone's come recently. The sticks are still burning, and the scent clings to everything. Tourists file down the carved steps, careful with their footing. A shaft of sunlight breaks through the cave's ceiling, spotlighting the worn path below. It doesn't just light the way, it transforms it. For a few seconds, the stone feels like something ancient and worthy of attention. Tucked behind slick footholds and broken support ropes, there's a narrow split in the stone that barely looks like an entrance at all. No signs, no tourists, no path, just shadows. Massive rocks clog the way forward, forcing each step to matter. You duck your head and slide in sideways, and suddenly you're inside the mountain again. This one isn't polished. It feels like the earth cracked open here and forgot to tell anyone. The path to the next cave cuts through a corridor of stone and foliage, a slick spine of stairs built into the hillside. On one side, jungle tries to reclaim the path. On the other, carved rock stands stubborn. Every turn is a new argument between nature and effort. It's peaceful, but not passive. You can feel the weight of all the feet that came before you. At the next landing, another Buddha waits, because of course she does. Standing, serene, unmoved by the climb or the climate or the fact that you're still catching your breath. She greets you like an inevitability, like she's been expecting you. On to the next cave. If the others felt theatrical, this one's feral. No neon, no signs, no guardrails. Just rock and silence. And the occasional squeak from above. Bats cling to the ceiling like whispers. Sunlight breaks through a jagged hole in the roof. The fourth cave is smaller but stranger. It opens to golden figures sealed inside glass boxes. Like relics or warnings, or both. Incense sticks, burning slow. Nobody says much here. The vibration is religious, metallic, and eerily polite. On the way to the next cave, the mood shifts.
Hello.
A school group passes us on the path. Kids on a field trip. Some waving, others just staring. Their excitement cuts through the heat. You can feel their chatter echoing off the mountain before you even reach the entrance. It's good energy. You absorb it. And with a little bit of luck, you carry it within you. The chamber is enormous, almost theatrical in its scale. Light spills in through a gash in the ceiling, spotlighting the altar in a kind of natural reverence. A yellow neon halo buzzes around the altars, almost embarrassed in contrast to the divine sunlight. The jagged walls feel ancient, like they've watched centuries of pilgrims pass. The final stretch leads us through archways guarded by stone-faced warriors, protectors of something sacred or maybe just symbolic. The monastery itself feels more modern, less mystic, like the mountains trying to stay relevant in a world that's forgotten how to bow. At the summit, the path narrows, not in size, but in intention. What started as curiosity ends in silence. A soft breeze, a panoramic view, and the quiet realization that maybe this whole mountain was a mirror. Again, a place for reflection. They say Water Mountain stands for flow, for movement, for healing. But it's tough to say whether we've found any of that or just slipped between stillness and spectacle. Maybe we missed it, lost in the carvings, the heat, and the slow crawl uphill. Maybe the real pilgrimage isn't about where you go, but what you drag with you. War once bled through these caves, now incense does. The shift is subtle, but it matters. What remains is a place that lets people forgive, forget, or simply feel something outside of themselves. And in a strange way, among the altars, sculpted gods, and sunlit stone, that's enough.